If you ask someone what the biggest thing in gaming has been over the past couple of years, other than a certain red spaceman, they most likely start talking about Battle Royale games. The genre has completely taken over the industry over the past 5 years, and what started out as a couple of mods and a game mode in Minecraft has grown with each successive major release, finally topping out with Fortnite slapping everyone else and becoming one of the biggest, and for better or worse, most influential games of the past decade. Growing up with the Hunger Games movies and being a huge Minecraft kid, Battle Royale has always had a special place in my heart, and I constantly find myself coming back to it. There's just such a memorable feeling about finally getting that first win in default and seal the corpse of the bone to fall that other genres can't seem to replicate for me. But over time, I kinda got tired of each of the games I've mentioned, as each of them seemed to be lacking something critical that turned me away from them for good. H1Z1 was great, but its lack of variety overall ended up getting it killed by the much more polished PUBG, which eventually turned to garbage as the devs cared less about keeping their game running and more about the dollar bills they were raking in, with cars that defy the laws of physics and characters that had the motor skills of a 2-year-old. Also, you know, hackers. While Fortnite seemed to fix most of these problems, it eventually got to the point where you'd poke someone with a stick and they'd build a goddamn Eiffel Tower. And the smaller games also had their fair share of problems, whether it being massive amounts of glitches, a dying player base, or just the age-old problem of being complete garbage. Apex Legends actually isn't that bad, but doesn't really vibe with me, so if you like the idea of specialized characters with interesting kits, you should try and check it out. And I never played Warzone, so I don't know. You might have noticed that one of the smaller games from about 15 seconds back was kind of similar to the thumbnail, almost like they're from the same game. These boys are from a game called Totally Accurate Battlegrounds, a game released as an April Fool's joke from the creator of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator during the height of the Battle Royale craze. The game was pretty fun with these wacky characters, cool map, and really weird gun selection, something I'll get into more later. But it came with an insane amount of glitches, and with the lack of real content and updates, it died a couple months after release. Until about 3 weeks ago when I saw my brother playing it, and oh my god! This game is absolutely amazing now, and pretty much the only thing I've played over the past 3 weeks. But you might be asking why, and why is the funky game the best one? Shut up, and let me take you through your average match of pure chaos that isn't just random glitch stitched together. You wake up on a truck, and the second you try and get out, you get launched into the air, goddamn Mach 10 speed, flying around with the grace of Superman until you slam head first into the ground with the grace of Man of Steel series. Oh, that hurt. Oh my god. Okay. When you start searching for weapons, other than your average FPS guns, you might notice your interesting choice of items, including a blunderbuss, an automatic revolver, an axe that shoots an ice wall, this futuristic looking gun called an H1, and a comically large barrel. You know what? Don't question it, because there's already 7 people on your tail. Why? Because you're landing in actual Finland, obviously, the most popular place on the map for the reasons I should not have to explain. By the way, just look at this map. It looks like it was drawn by a 2-year-old. I love it. Aesthetic. Speaking of which, just look at the design of this game. Like, look at this, look at that, look at whatever that's supposed to be. Despite just being some simple polygonal shapes, this game is weirdly beautiful, with each and every one of the weird and wacky locations not only being so full of personality and detail, but also just feeling like it belongs perfectly where it is, and isn't just a bunch of random environments stitched together. Anyways, back in the game, you got no health, and you're running from a guy shooting you with a missile launcher through a city, and you have 2 options. Uno is you can continue to weave your way through the area, praying for the slight possibility that your pursuer will get bored of you, which they won't, or you can go up here, up here, up here, up here, up here on the roof, down there, down there, down there, up to that roof, across the bridge, on that roof, through this window. Repeat for 30 more seconds while you get the weapons you need to get behind the guy and give him the old 1-2. If you haven't noticed, one of my favorite things about the game is the absolutely insane movement. You pretty much jump on, over, under, and through everything in this game. Like bop 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 bop, flying through the air like a goddamn CSGO B-Hop montage, like... Now you might not have noticed, but the walls are closing in on you, but not exactly in the way you might think. While in most games, a circle of fire, electricity, gas... threatens to kill you over a certain period of time, the walls in Tab G kinda just get straight to the point. The pillars float overhead for a while, slowly moving towards their destination, but at around 60 or 70% they slam straight into the ground before starting to reach out to each other and get a little family. And they finally close off at 100%, and if you're not inside, you're dead. This makes the walls feel way more threatening than in other games, and makes it something that always needs to be on your mind, especially if you're in a gunfight, right outside the border of the walls while they're closing in.
Are we there yet?
We are going to die!
Aiden, are we there yet?
We are literally...
I have a shotgun trained on your head, Aiden.
Aiden, are we there yet?
I'm going!
Are we there yet?
But, despite all odds, you managed to make it inside. Woo! But while making your way to the next circle, you're killed during a gunfight and you lose your life. Your chance of winning this game having gone dark. Or did it? Yes, this game has a respawn mechanic, and one that I kinda like. You're thrown up in this ethereal realm and given the chance to respawn, given you can pass at least one of the 3 stages before you. But before that, I'd like to inform you about Rage, another large aspect of the game, blessings and curses. Blessings are essentially just power-ups that you can find in various places around the map. They're fairly good overall, giving you speed, jumps, health, airstrike? Oh shit. On the other hand, curses are a bit more weird. They vary a lot, and sometimes the game just decides it hates you and gives you the curse of high gravity, even though you died in a tree. So when you go to get your stuff, you can't reach it, and then you spend 2 minutes trying to jump and grab it, even though people are fighting all around you, and then you have to die because you can't get everything. There's also the curse of big.
I am big.
But yeah, respawn thing. In this Sonic-ish minigame, you gotta work your way around the progressively difficult to dodge walls, crosses, and windmills, and clear the areas before the walls shut you out. There's also an incentive for clearing all 3 levels, as you will respawn with a blessing rather than the nothing you get from only clearing stage 2, or the curse you get from only clearing stage 1. The only problem I have with it is that although stage 3 is literally the Matrix, and 2 can catch you off guard sometimes, which can lead to situations like the gravity one, it's pretty much impossible to miss stage 1 unless you're in the middle of a goddamn hurricane or earthquake. But the feature is still pretty new, so I'll let Landfall off the hook for this one. So, you managed to respawn with a respectable stage 3 death, and after a bit more looting, fighting, and running, mostly just running, the last circle closes in and you enter the finale. The final circle is a bit different from the rest of the game, shoving you all together to talk things out like civilized adults. So about half the people die. When there's 4 people left, you notice that 2 of them are actually stuck in the city down there, so you hatch a plan. Using a blessing that triples your grenades at the expense of just some health, you lob 3 orbital strike grenades at the city, which goes about as well as you would expect. This leads to a snipe out between you and the final guy, and he managed to find shelter in the city after getting hurt because you missed all your shots. Unbelievable! This game is really hard, okay? Using a couple gauge grenades as a distraction, run along the rooftops and jump down on them with the big ass. And managed to get the second hit in before you die, winning the game and getting the big Fortnite dub. The big chicken winner, dinner. The big Rocket League. So, you won your first game because you're a god gamer, so you must be thinking, oh, I understand this game now, winning should be a walk in the park. To which I say, no, you foolish child, go stand in the corner. The amazing thing about Tab G is that pretty much no 2 games are the same, and each new round has a different story to tell, mostly due to the absolutely insane item selection, including but not being limited to an S1 M14, Kar 98K, musket operette, really big bro, Gauss firework, pistol, taser, automatic flint, crossbow, flintlock, sawed-off, the Arnold, rapier, taser, revolver, vector, rainmaker, missile launcher, blockinator, minigun, ballistic shield, deagle, katana, and a shovel. And all of this, all the weapons, the I just learned the dozens of guns that don't show up in the frickin' practice area, like an Op 74U, beam AR, grappling hook, promise, whatever that means. There's a water gun, liberation mini. Sorry about that. So, where was I again? Oh yeah. Grenades, walls, items, leads into what the game is truly trying to offer. Creativity. While I will admit that not all the guns are created equally, there's no real meta in Tab G, only what you make of the weapons you have. For example, you could combine 3 speed blessings and just kinda run around with an axe like a crazy person and literally just kill everyone. Or maybe you just want to teleport around, leaving dummies that the dummies you're facing fall for, as you snipe them using your 300 IQ Rick and Morty. What? But 90% of the time, you're probably just gonna do this. I have 2 periscopes.
I'm putting a 4x scope on my sawed-off shotgun.
Read.
What the fuck?
This all ties into Tab G having a weirdly high skill ceiling, where you not only have to learn how to shoot, but also adapt to whatever the hell the other guy's doing over there. Speaking of transitions, the game I've been talking about for 7 minutes has now taken me 3.5 weeks to edit at this point, and I think I'm gonna lose my mind, so I'm just gonna run through some of the other things you might encounter during a round of Tab G. As you might have noticed, you can play as duos and squads, which I personally think is the best way to play because hey, more madness for everyone. There's also a separate respawn mechanic that you can find at these altars around the map and use the souls of the people that you've killed to bring back your teammates. It also heals curses. Probably should have mentioned that. Event games, they're a thing. Sometimes simple with just being shotguns and sometimes everyone's throwing rocks at each other. By the way, spells are a thing. They're like really good sometimes and other times they throw rocks at people. There's cars, which are really fun and easy to drive, and I've never crashed one, and don't question me about it. Beatboxing is a thing, and so is catchphrases for some reason.
This man just said die boomer insect.
Now, I know that the game isn't perfect, there are so many glitches, things to be optimized, and some people just prefer having a set meta to figure out and become the best at. But, for me, the ability to have a game that changes every time you play it, a game with dozens of weapons and items, and a game with the absolute movement it gives you makes it the best overall for me. Or it could just be because of this. Hey, Thomas, let me test my gun. Wow, that's a good gun.
I must say, that's a mighty fine gun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can knock over trees with the car.
Woo, deforestation. It didn't knock over.
Regen when lying down. That's really good. If only I got it before someone shot me in the face.
I will do it again. I will sin again. Fuck.
Wait, we're both down!
Wait, we got this!
I'm sorry. No. Have you heard the word of our Lord and Savior? No, come back. Can you just stand still for a second?
America. No, I can't. Fuck you. No, my defense.
Yeah! Sup boys, hope you liked that video because I had to buy a new computer to render it. And basically just if you liked it, that video took like 150 hours to make, so if you wanted to sub, that'd be cool. Alright, bye.